Hello, everyone, and welcome to our fifth episode of She Leads International. So today we will welcome an amazing new lady, woman in data, Elena Gorohhova. She is the CDO and head of data at Luminor Group. And before we are going to invite her, I would like to invite on the stage my amazing co-partner, Carmela. So welcome, Carmela.
Hi. Hi,
Hi, how are you?
Natalia. Wow, the fifth episode. Congrats.
Yeah, can you believe in that?
That's amazing. No,
Yeah. So
that's
here we
great.
go. Now we are good. Let's see who is with us. So I would like to start actually from yeah. For me, it's a sad, sad story. That I woke up and it's super gray. There is no sun, so it's like literally in Prague over the weekend. The summer was over. From Monday, it started to be like really 10, 15 degrees, raining, and yeah, autumn mood.
Like Constance, the same. Super
Yeah, well,
freezing.
we are not that far away from each other, right?
No.
Yeah,
Well,
so
it is a journey by
yeah,
car.
but good thing is that I have already started to decorate my whole flat with a Halloween
Oh, I
decorations. So
love
it's
it.
super
Yeah.
nice. Yesterday, I already put some ghosts and the things like giving a really good mood. So we have a whole month, yeah, to wait for Halloween. All right, so
Best
let
season.
yeah, exactly. This is the season. Let us invite also Elena on the stage. Here we
Yes.
go. Hi, Elena. How are you?
Hi.
Hello, I'm good. I'm happy vice versa, because we do have sun shining here, and it's does not happen too often. Yeah, so I mean, you said that summer was over. I'm not so sure, that summer was here this year. So we are just happy that sun is shining today. You see, I mean, like low expectations help.
Yeah,
I hope
well,
you can enjoy it.
enjoy exactly until it lasts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will try my best.
Exactly. So you are in located in Estonia, right?
Yes, I'm based in Tallinn,
Mhm.
Estonia, and I'm like, traveling a lot because Luminor is actually on Baltic Bank. So my team is spread across Latvia and Lithuania and Estonia. And if you have never been to these beautiful countries and beautiful capitals of these countries, I highly recommend to visit those. And maybe you will also be lucky with the sun shining. Then you will get a much better experience.
Yeah, I've been to Estonia and Tallinn specifically two times. I have a aunt who's living in there, so some relatives, and it was really nice. And actually, it was a September, and I remember there was a sun. But in general, like in Scandinavia, I really like the vibe. So
Yeah, I agree. And then you see, I mean, like just in terms of the weather, last year we were vice versa very lucky with the summer. This year we were not.
mhm.
So yeah, you never
Yeah,
know. But
but this
regardless of the weather, I still highly recommend to visit our countries.
absolutely, I agree with you. And I think we say this thing like in case if it was a cold summer, when it will be a warm winter, so it's like works pretty smoothly. So
As I mentioned, we have low expectations. So as long as the sun is shining, we are happy.
exactly. Good. All right. So I would like to actually, before moving to our topic of the day, asking you, the audience, if you are here, because I would like to see in the comments who is actually managed to be at 11 o'clock on Tuesday. So we are, of course, happy to welcome you. And yeah, say where are you coming from, what's the weather like, and also don't forget to ask questions during the whole session. All right, so let's start. Probably it would be great, Elena, if you can share with us a little bit about your story in general, your data story,
Yeah.
right? How did it all start?
Okay. So, hello everyone once again from my side, and thank you as well for inviting me. It's a real pleasure to be here and share a bit of my story and journey. So, though we have 1 hour, let's try to fit in. So, my name is Elena or Elena if you're coming from Spanish speaking countries, and I'm the head of data at Luminor Group. So, as I mentioned, I'm based in Estonia, Tallinn. But as we are on Baltic Bank, my team is spread across all three countries. I've been with the bank for over 7 years, but in general, my career spans almost already 2 decades, because I started quite early. So, when I was 18, now I'm 37. So these 2 decades, is a real number, though almost not like, full 2 decades. And as I've mentioned, I started pretty early. Basically, I was always eager to start working somehow. And so then just right after high school and before entering the university, during the summer, when everyone was enjoying and preparing themselves for the next chapter, I somehow decided that while I'm also preparing for the next chapter, entering university, I decided, to start becoming a real banker. And the reason why I was a little bit in a hurry was because, my decision about becoming a real banker was when I was 5. And, between 5 and 18, there were many years. So I was thinking that I cannot postpone it any further. And of course, during this short period, I was not maybe immediately within the data function, right? Or within the data management function. But it still was very important step because already back then I realized that data is very important, and that, bad data quality can easily cause you many, many troubles. And I think, this was exactly that first moment when I was thinking, data is something, special and important. And I think this is exactly how it is when it comes to data in general. So I think, every company in this world, regardless of the industry, irrespective of business model and everything else. So every company in this world is also a data company. Yeah. And of course, by this time, I would say that it's clear for everyone that those companies which do prioritize data, which have data, very highly on agenda, which do have data under good control, under strong governance, the companies which are investing in those, modern data platforms, right? Though in a smart way, this is important. I think they have a huge competitive advantage with others. And I don't even I don't want to say that, especially now, when AI has stolen our hearts, we make sure, by the way, that our brains are not stolen, right, by AI. So I think I don't want, to say that, especially now. I think that this always has been like this, right? So that data is at the core, and that it will stay like this. But, just kind of coming back to my data journey, I then, after university...
Sorry, Elena, and that's how you basically took one question and responded everything.
I told you that, so that's why I told you that you need to get me.
Yeah, I will do it like this, like. I do want to comment, about something here.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's interesting that you say that but it's clear to everyone that the data is important. But is it really clear to everyone that it's still very important? I'm not sure about it. I think there is still a lot of companies that don't take the data seriously.
Well, I think still that it's obvious and it's clear for everyone, but the challenge is a little bit different, because on the one hand, if we're even talking about some general, let's say, rules or guardrails, how to manage data well, those are not, as we all know, they are not also the rocket science. Business process owners need to know their data. They should own their data, right? The data quality should be under, and so on and so forth. But the challenge lies maybe, in a little bit different aspect, so that data is also an integrated part of IT, of the processes, and it's definitely about relationship between people, between data producers and data consumers. So basically, regardless the fact that what we would like to achieve with data is very straightforward, but the way how to do it, it really depends on the maturity of the company, where we are in terms of our platforms, data platforms. Are these platforms, for example, serve as enablers for strong governance and for strong data management, or they are rather some kind of showstoppers. So there are many aspects, and that's why I'm always saying that data should be part of the change management. It should be integrated or not even integrated. It's really part of business process management, because it's very easy not to do the thing in the correct way. And you see what I also wanted to mention to here, that's my second role. Of course, I didn't, after the university, I didn't start immediately as the head of data, but I was responsible for different kind of, reporting, automating dashboards, automating the processes. So making sure that the end product is a good one. And that, what also helped me maybe to realize that everything is interconnected with each other. Yeah. So when we are running certain transformation, for example, in the IT systems, it will touch, the data consumers. Yeah. So you always need to think about everyone and everything when you are doing such kind of things. And yeah.
Got it. Very good. Very extensively responded. No, but really nice insights. I totally agree about the way how you manage the data. Definitely is now the question of the day, and also like you said about AI coming, but I think we are going to get there at some point about this. We can discuss about like what's changed now. So let's welcome a little bit of here, like who is joining us. Sabina is here. Hello from Tashkent. I'm sure in Tashkent there is better weather than anywhere right now. Confirm with us, Sabina, if you're still with us. And here we come. Hello from sunny Tallinn. I suppose it's somebody who has a privacy, like I said to you about the switching. Also, actually, it would be good to know who has joined us. You just write in the comments your name, but maybe it's somebody you know, right, Elena? So, and then we have also somebody from India. We have also Mane here from Armenia. I'm sure also in Armenia is much better weather. All right. And of course, I would like to remind you all, don't forget to ask questions because, of course, Elena is an amazing data expert and also women in data. So it's nice to ask questions. You have an opportunity right now, so take it, All right. So we move on.
Yes. So what are the main tasks of a head of data in the banking space? And so this is the first question. I also have a second one before you start.
You will ask more questions because you will not be able to ask. So this is the first. This is the
second. So you said, and I found it very, very interesting that you have to make sure that your platforms are enabler and not showstoppers. So how do you make sure that they are enabling your teams to really perform?
So about the first question, I think that as head of data, my main responsibility and my main mission is to turn data, so from a challenge into exactly that competitive advantage. Yeah. And that of course means different kind of things. That means ensuring that our data is reliable, well governed, available to support both basically the business growth, right, and as well regulatory compliance, because banking is highly regulated in industry. Practically, my tasks range from, again, building strong data governance frameworks and strategies, executing those strategies. Also, we need to make sure that data strategy is supporting the business strategy, and it's not somehow, just an isolated document. And definitely, what is the most interesting is to boost, that data literacy, because, I'm always saying that data is everyone's business. Yeah, it really does not belong, only to the data management team, the central team or IT or only business. And what I have been emphasizing recently, that the most important, and this is exactly what prevents many companies of getting data as a competitive advantage. Very important is the relationship between data consumers and data producers, because very often data producers, they are not aware that their data is being used, right? For what kind of purposes. And data consumers, as you may know, are always not extremely happy with the data producers because, they are not getting data, right? Correct. Data is not. So this is very important thing. And when we come now to platforms or data platforms, so that data governance, data platform, all these things should enable this relationship to be effective. Yeah, because you see what has happened throughout these years. Many years ago, we were thinking that when we get that wonderful, magical, centralized data warehouse, that we will solve all the issues. It didn't work out. Yeah, we just got data into one central box. Same thing has been happening. Data producers are even not aware why we're loading data warehouse, right? And data consumers are struggling with different kind of, let's say, challenges. So then we said, like, okay, we need to have lakehouse. No, not lakehouse, data lake, right? So we need to get just all data into one place, and that will. So, and also didn't work like that. Now we have lakehouse and so on and so forth. So that's why data platforms and also, data governance practices, they need to help those relationships to happen. Yeah. And what I also wanted to share here, I had an incredible opportunity this year to attend the first in history course on AI at Harvard Business School. And first of all, it was an amazing experience. And the other thing is that, of course, we were discussing a lot about AI, how AI is being implemented, in different companies like JP Morgan, Moderna, and others. But even more, we were discussing, and rightly so, how to build platforms, how to build like data platforms. Because without these rightly built platforms, you will not be able to unleash the potential of data and also, to unleash the potential of AI. And answering the question, what is the right way? I think, first of all, it's all about what I've already mentioned. The platform should enable the ownership. When you have just like, some central thing where no one understands why this data is being loaded here, how it's being used, etc., then it's about enabling the ownership. So that's why nowadays we are talking about federated governance, but decentralized execution, because the main goal of decentralizing the execution is to boost the ownership and to have, this responsibility and availability of value creation as close as possible to the data owners and data producers. Yeah. So they need to be fully aware what data is being produced by their business processes, how this data is being produced, what are the quality requirements, what we can get out of the data, right? And then already by having those data contracts, don't be afraid. This is like, maybe not, but so this is also an enable between data producers and data consumers. You make sure that data is really not just like, written somewhere in the policies, but it's really shareable, critical assets, of the company.
Very good.
Thank you.
Maybe we can get back also, because you did mention about the data literacy. So maybe we can summarize a little bit about the importance of it, like why is it so important, the data literacy in the organization? So can you share with us?
Yeah, definitely. So, on the one hand, we can say that data is similar for everyone, right? But what makes the huge difference is exactly how this data is being used by different stakeholders, by different data producers, data consumers, and other people. So I think data literacy is very important, because first of all, you need to understand what are those use cases. Yeah, because you need also to talk a little bit different language with everyone, because for example, for for a data scientist, right, or for a data engineer, it's all about basically looking at data rather like to ensure certain let's say model creation, or these pipelines and other things. You were talking about compliance officer, then when they're looking at data, they see completely different thing. So that's why data literacy is absolutely essential thing. And so there are several aspects. The first thing is that everyone should understand that data, once again, is everyone's business. Yeah. Someone who is entering data at the very first step should be aware and knowledgeable that at the end it can cause certain troubles, right? And this link is not typically there. And regardless, the fact that we have been talking about data literacy, data culture, many years, right? There is, of course, a progress, but still there is a certain way forward. And this is where personalized data literacy comes into play, so that you should talk to people in a different way, to explain them in a different way. Yeah, because we who have been in data for so many years, for us maybe these things are so obvious. Yeah, so that's why I always choose, when I'm talking, for example, with someone like from the front line, to use in a good way, rather simpler terms. Yeah, not talk about data contracts, computational data governance, data platform, data lake, data mesh, all this, because you immediately lose, right, a person. And that's exactly, what I also wanted maybe to emphasize here, that my first experience where I was myself, in that role, really helped me to lead today. Because you have this natural empathy, right? You understand that it's not about torturing people with many buzzwords, but rather about making sure that they truly understand what you're talking about. So I think in this data literacy, empathy is very important. And by the way, can I still tell you something, or you would like to interrupt me?
Yeah, I'd like to, but I will be honest here,
But you know what? When we were discussing that yesterday with you, you told me that you are very good in interrupting. You see?
Yeah,
I see the pencil
here, so it should work vice versa. So you need to learn, how to. So I'm learning to listen and respect and not interrupt. And for you, you need to, sometimes slow down.
I can now stop. You can ask.
I have two questions now, but maybe Carmela, you also want to comment on this something before I go with the question.
Yeah, maybe one question which was not planned. So, of course. So I find this very, very interesting, this approach to have a personalized data literacy approach. But I assume that it's a very big challenge to really implement it in an organization, especially in a bigger one that never had any experience in how to teach people how to deal with data. So how can they start? What's the first step?
Well, I can tell you that nowadays, to get personalized even materials for different kind of stakeholders and for different kind of, audience, now is much, much easier. So you can use for that AI. Of course, still, you need still to be and to stay, as an expert. Yeah. So definitely, certain human side and understanding, what you're talking about and what you're doing is very important. But what I'm just trying, and this is a very good example of a very straightforward and easy, use case in terms of using, for example, these capabilities of chatbots, etc. Why? Because very often in the data management and, in these kind of support functions, we have been struggling with the fact that we need to spend a lot of time to create something. You were talking about these personalized trainings. Of course, then we need to create different kind of versions, to put it into some production, into some systems, etc. Now, again, with a very important statement that you understand what you're doing, right? To produce something takes much, much smaller amount of time. Yeah. So I think this is where we can, first of all, so how to do it, you need to understand who are the stakeholders. So what is the audience, right? So, and then to tailor trainings and as well, the language even, and this is now also very easy, to achieve. Not that you should be a super experience in changing, the style, etc. You can ask this thing now to do it. You can ask, could you please tailor, I don't know, these particular trainings for someone, who is doing that. And yes, still, as I'm always mentioning, you should to control what you are getting. You should to fix. Sometimes there are very stupid mistakes. Yeah, this is not a silver bullet, but 80% what you are getting is good enough.
Very, very good.
Great.
Thank you. And I will definitely skip one of the questions we discussed yesterday about technologies because I'd like to concentrate on the rest of the other things. Like there was a question, like from my side, that I would like to maybe talk about a little bit of your cultural differences, right? So your background is very diverse. You're coming from one culture, you live in another country, you know, so you're working with a global team. Also, you are a woman in data. Maybe you can share with us, like, when it comes to cultural differences, working with a global team, what impact does that have to you as a woman in data?
Well, you know, this is exactly what I enjoy the most. Yeah, so I definitely do not see it as you know, as a challenge, because exactly what I was planning to say within my first answer, and now good that you're coming back. So you know what happened to me when I entered that another company after graduating from the university. What happened to me that I was involved in one of the projects which was aiming at implementation of certain system, and these where I immediately felt like I'm at home, because I really love to be at this intersection of IT, data, business processes, change management, different cultures, different people. And I really love, you know, this expansion, because somehow naturally I very well understand how all that should be interconnected with each other. And I really see this is rather an opportunity, you know, for expansion. For it's really like, you know, professionally rewarding when you see as much as possible, because you know it's like enhancing yourself, right? And this was where I really found my source of, you know, power, and I felt immediately very resourceful. And exactly from that moment I started to go deeper and deeper, to expand, like, you know, more and more. And then when Luminor happened with even bigger expansion, yeah, you know, it was a complete game changer. So I really love to work with international teams, with very international management board, with, like, you know, more countries the better. Yeah, because it's really you know, rewarding in the sense that you always, within different cultures, within different views, within different teams, you can see the change management. And this is, you know, another very interesting topic for me, from the different angles. Yeah, so you are, like, you know, learning by doing. And this diversity, so first of all, you know, diversity is part of our, I would say, you know, overall universal structures, right? So this is vice versa, like, you know, not the challenge for me, but rather like a great opportunity. So I really enjoy that. Of course, you know, this is not always, as we understand, I would say, pleasant walk in the park, but I really loved how Novak Djokovic, in his recent interview, and I strongly recommend to watch it for everyone, with Jay Shetty, he said, like, that tennis for him, it's not just a sport, it's a platform which is making him better as a human being and evolving, you know, as a person, through victories, through setbacks, you know, through this all mental capacity which you're kind of building, you know, throughout this journey. And I see it exactly the same, so that within every challenge there is a huge opportunity to grow and to develop into a better human being. This is important. You have all the time opportunity to develop yourself into a worse human being. Yeah. But this is, yeah, I mean, like, but this is, like, you know, your choice, where you basically taking all these challenges, struggles, etc., and it makes you rather better. Yeah.
No, I really love it.
Answer.
I love it. The really the response was like amazing. And actually, out of topic, what kind of sport do you like?
Tennis.
Yes, Okay, what we got? But what else in the free
Well,
time?
to be honest, I can be very honest with you. So if there would be 48 hours in a day, I would be doing much, much, much more tennis. Yeah. And though my friends all are now doing, not tennis, but paddle,
Yeah.
I have not yet given up on tennis. I mean, I love tennis more, though I tried paddle, but no, tennis is much more, I don't know,
Precise, probably.
classical and
Classical.
elegant,
Yeah. But it's also more complicated, to be honest. Like
Absolutely.
paddle, I believe that everyone can play paddle, squash, but tennis, you need to have a trainer. If you want to actually play and not having, like it's not easy to start this, and I have a lot of friends who does the tennis, and I know that it's a lot of effort, time, and it's not fun to play also with somebody who doesn't know how to play, so that's you need to find
Yeah,
somebody
yeah,
like a partner
yeah.
is the same level at least, so
I'm also
um
playing chess, but this is a
yeah,
little bit.
that's it's a sport, so yeah,
Yeah.
I love it too. Okay, and I would like to actually take a second because I didn't do that before. So yeah, we had a little bit of a conversation here going on. So Sabina did confirm, but yes, it's always sunny in there. And then we have
Oh,
Veronica.
you see, I have my colleague joined. Hi, Veronica.
Yes. Then we have somebody from Valencia. So hello, where? Welcome to our episode. And yeah, guys,
Buenos
again.
dias.
Yes.
We are
Don't
also
forget to
global.
ask questions because Elena is really an amazing again. Like you can see she's killing it, right? So ask more questions. And we have somebody else, like more.
Berlin.
Yeah, it's from Berlin actually, not far away from you, Carmela.
Well, it's a couple of
Quite.
hours, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We shouldn't forget that you're in a different part of the German. Right?
I'm almost Switzerland.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Too far away from me.
Yeah.
All right. So don't forget, ask questions, and you can go ahead, Carmela, with the next
Yeah.
probably question.
So I would like to talk a little bit more about AI, especially in the banking space. So what role does AI technology play at the moment, and how do you think will it evolve in the future?
Yeah. It's interesting because I recently came across a report from one of the leading research firms. And so they were talking in their latest report about digital AI and even crypto journeys for banks. And one of the most surprising findings, and it was funny to read, because they exactly wrote it in such a way. Surprisingly, so surprisingly, so banks already see from 10% to 30% of production value directly driven, by AI, yeah, across multiply different kind of processes. And actually, what's it gives us as a very direct answer, yeah, so that it's not a future any longer. So it's really happening already now in the banks, and that AI is already delivering tangible value, in banking today.
Right.
And in terms of use cases, again, there is no, in this regard, how to say, limitation. Yeah, it's all about all the processes on which banks are sitting. Yeah, so it's about customer service, it's about fraud detection, it's about risk management, it's about content generation, it's about general also efficiency within our manual processes. And when we are, for example, talking even about the data management, there are also many use cases, because as you know, data management can be very heavy in terms of manual tasks. Yeah. So if, for example, you're not using any kind of a tool, and believe me, tools are not always the answer. Yeah. I mean, not always tools can address certain deficiencies in the processes, etc., as we are always expecting them, to address those. So that's why here AI definitely can help to reduce this manuality. And you see what I'm always saying, that it's not about replacing people. Yeah, it's about making sure that people who are typically overwhelmed due to amount of these manual things, they can use AI as a tool, still in a responsible, very important, ethical, compliant, etc. manner, but to free up their time in order they could dedicate this time for very important things like data literacy, boosting collaboration between data producers and data consumers, about thinking strategically, right, tactically, to delegate or to outsource, these operational things, so that's why in banking it's already happening. And again, as I mentioned in this report, surprisingly there is already this amount of production gains.
You say 10 to 30, right? 10 to 30%.
From 10 to 30. Yeah. From 10 to 30. And I think, when it comes also to AI, when we are thinking about, let's say, future, and when it comes to particular to banking, then I think it will be also developing, from being a supporting tool to becoming a core capability. So that maybe certain hyper personalization, can happen. Yes. So when data can be analyzed, again, in compliant, responsible, and other manner, so that this hyper personalization can really kind of happen, and that banks can be much, much, much more relevant to to more or less every person, right, with his or her specifics, etc. Then of course it's all about predictive risk management and of course process automation. And I think another a very powerful use case, because as you may know, banks, especially traditional banks, they are sitting typically on very complicated IT situation. They are also over-regulated, right? So highly, not highly regulated. And the problem is that on the one hand, you would like to innovate and you would like to boost, all these good things, but you also should address legacy deficiencies. And AI, this is maybe a very primitive use case, but believe me, this is a very powerful use case here to at last address this long-lasting, problem that many IT systems, they really need to be well maintained, better maintained, well documented, etc. Right? And I'm even not mentioning about, this IT thing when you can get these coding assistants, and then everything when it comes to testing, to produce those test cases and other many other things.
Good, thank you. And I think the following question would be, I was just thinking going around here, that it makes sense to ask you about this one. What way will AI help serve banking customers better and more efficiently in short?
Well, this is exactly what we have now partially touched. So it's all about that AI, if implemented in a right manner, in responsible manner, etc., so that AI will allow us to be faster, to be smarter, right, to be more personal. So exactly that's a very straightforward use case here, that chatbots can answer, right, customer question 24/7, and different kind of those predictive models can offer the right product at the right time, right, and automated processes can reduce many of those errors in back office tasks. So as I mentioned, ultimately I think that AI can free up human employees to focus on what really, in this sense, which also matters, and it's about building trust and relationship with customers. And what is very important when it comes to our customers, they should feel and they should know that AI is rather working for them and not against them. Yeah. So that's why risk management and smart implementation, transparency, understanding, are we now implementing AI for high risk use case or not? This is very important. Yeah. So as you know, banking is also pretty much about trust. Yeah. Because we are managing other people's money and also financial well-being and other things. So that's why I think risk management and ethical implementation and all these things, it really matters. Yeah, you don't want to experiment with trust. Yeah, you really don't want to do that.
Thank
Perfect.
you.
Thank you. Yeah.
You already answered my next question.
Yeah, but we have like a couple of more questions. So definitely need to
Yeah.
talk about a little bit of events and everything. But is there anything else, maybe based on what we have discussed,
Not right now.
Okay, then I will go for the So first of all, Elena, I'm already thinking about that we are gonna meet in 1 month.
Yes, I'm also
Yeah, exactly. So I already thinking about how I'm gonna show you this paper FA or 4 format. How many minutes left for you? Three times. I'm sure.
typically during the conferences I behave. Yeah, I understand that.
Okay. So here, when it comes to online, you just take the whole stage and go on, right? Well, it's okay.
Though when it comes to panel discussions, you're right.
Oh yeah, but panel discussions are the worst, to be honest, to the people that cannot stop at some point. And I don't know how, but probably over 10 years, I when I was moderating recently when data management marathon, somehow like unconsciously, completely, when I was speaking, I would stop always at exact time when I needed to stop, not even looking at the time, and I was like, okay, we are in the schedule, so it's just probably
professional already, Natalia, so this is the sign.
Yeah. So, and then maybe give us a little bit of a sneak peek for what we are gonna hear from you in October in Prague. So I'm not sure, maybe someone who is watching it right now or who is gonna rewatch the session would like to, we will be in Prague and we would like to know what it's gonna be about. But like shortly.
Yeah. So shortly, I think what is extremely interesting in data, and what I now have been observing throughout the years, how different kind of operating models have been changing, how we have been addressing and how we have been building different kind of as well, like data platforms, and how this whole thing has been evolving. What I will be talking about, how this how the let's say the approach itself, as well operating model, people skills, etc., have been evolving, and from where we're coming and where we are now. So what has been the change, between this centralization, decentralization, technology wise, how it has been changing. So that's insights I will be talking about. So in general, it's about decentralization of the data management function, and what are pros and cons. Yeah, because there is no silver bullet. Yeah, it's always a certain art to understand and to align what this particular organization needs now, in terms, and that it is aligned with maturity. But what I'm always as well saying, that something what we are implementing should not just reflect our current situation. It really should be sufficiently ambitious to as well boost the maturity. And this is a certain very, I would say, interesting thing to experience.
Very good. Thank you. And I will put actually the link later on for anyone who is interested to meet with us in person in Prague in October, and you can learn about the whole event.
Highly recommend. Great event.
And I love Prague. Prague is a beautiful city.
It's so beautiful, no matter if it rains or if there's sun.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is some charm in it, I can tell.
Yes. So you're now 37 years old and already head of data. Are there any goals left? What are your dreams in your professional life?
Yeah, good question.
Well, I think that what remains, and that I already have mentioned, I think for me it's important, to develop my skills further. And it's not only about becoming, a better leader, but exactly, becoming as well a better human being. And this is about what we already discussed, about that, how you can use your function, your job, right, whatever you are doing, to evolve, let's say, further. Yeah. And I think it's also very important for me to evolve together with my team, and exactly to make sure that the data challenge transforms into competitive advantage. Another thing, and this is back to my wish that there would be 48 hours and not 24. So I really would like to, and this is of course in regards to AI, so that I would really use that extra time to build something myself with AI. Yeah, just
Cool.
for the room. Yeah, because I still, have this hand-on curiosity. So this desire somehow to test, learn, create. And for me, staying close to technology, especially this technology, it's not only important professionally, but it also, for me personally, extremely rewarding. I'm happy, like I don't know, like a kid, I'm clubbing when I'm getting something really working. Yeah, I see the outcome, and it's it really keeps me connected to innovation. And as well, it really remind me why I fell in love with data, in the first place. And one another, though it's half a joke, but still, I now had also incredible opportunity to join a beautiful event in New York this month. So it was Forbes Power Women's Summit. I was surrounded by many women, just amazing women. And typically when we were like, talking to each other, it was like, hi, I don't know, I'm someone, I'm Forbes 40 under 40, and I'm Forbes 50 under 50, and I'm Forbes, 30 under 30. So of course it was extremely inspiring. I'm not so sure that I will make it to Forbes 40 under 40 because I'm turning 38 soon, so it's only 2 years. But let's see, maybe if I manage to find additional 24 hours and create something myself with AI, who knows?
Good luck.
I think what is amazing when it comes to our world nowadays, everything is possible.
Everything is possible. Yeah, for sure. You just have to believe in yourself. That sounds cliche, but it's really true.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
And another thing which I also wanted just quickly to mention as well, in one of my favorite books, it's called Clear Thinking. We got it as a present from our management board. So in this book, it's been said that there are two types of people: imitators and experts. And though,
sorry, what did you say? Experts and
imitators, so who are imitating, yeah. And though at the beginning it's absolutely fine to imitate, there is this famous fake it until you make it, but you really would like to make it. Yeah, you really would like to make it, to someone who really understands what he or she is talking about, right? Who is genuinely interested and in love what he or she is doing. Yeah, because on the one hand, I can tell you that there are quite many successful imitators as well in this world. Yeah? But believe me,
but let's not forget about Rafael, who is an artist, and he was imitating most of the artists in Italy. And what he was almost like, what, wouldn't you say that he's like excellent? If you wouldn't know a little bit about art, you would think, oh, he's just a magnificent, but actually it was mainly copies, so he just was inventing his style, his time, but still copying the other artists, and what, he was successful at the end.
Why? Because at the end he became an expert. Because
Exactly.
while imitating, he still had, this
Develop his, yes,
desire and exactly, this genuine love towards what he's doing. Yeah. But what I wanted, that if you are not making, to an expert, so who's someone genuinely in love what he's doing, then these people are much more fragile. Yeah. So you still would like to, from imitator, that's absolutely fine, to make to the expert.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's an interesting path. I mean, not everyone can be like immediately an expert and in something. So totally. That's exactly a very good point. Love it. Actually, coming back also to the conferences and being a woman, like that you were in this workshop. So it's very interesting. Maybe we can ask one of the last questions, Carmela. We went beyond the time ever. Probably this is the record. Yeah. So as a woman and as a leader, maybe you can suggest to other women here in the audience, but not even just women, but like looking at your experience, what the skills would you suggest to develop in order to become successful
and to become an expert?
Yes, very good.
I think that it's all about being curious. It's all about, really trying to, again, your interest can be very different. But I think being and curiosity, by the way, is one of our values at Luminor. So, so to be and to stay curious, because as soon as you are losing this interest,
really, I love it.
You're immediately losing a lot of power, especially in our world nowadays, which develops so quickly and rapidly. To stay curious and to act, this is also very important, to act on your curiosity. I think this is very important. Another thing, in our world, it's very important and essential not to lose focus. Because in our world, when everything, and sometimes also people, are trying rather to disturb you, to catch your attention, and then you are scrolling like for 2 hours, then you are losing the most precise thing what you have, your time. So to manage your focus and to manage your time is extremely important. It's all about being disciplined. It's very easy not to be disciplined nowadays, and I think maybe what should help you to stay disciplined, that you need to understand that the whole thing is built in a way to disturb you. So these things are highly manipulative. AI also, you need to to stay in the driving seat. You need really to manage yourself, otherwise you can spend your life on scrolling, sorry to say, because this is the way. And then sometimes as well, when you are not and this is maybe the third secret here, I think you should never ever forget about what is your own story. Because when you and not to forget about what is your own story, you should know what is your own story. Because many people, they don't know from where they are coming, where they are going. And when you do not have your own story, then believe me, somebody will come to you with their own stories, and you will be just acting in their story. And this is fine, as long as you share the goals of the stories, etc. So but what is very important, that you should just stay self-aware who you are, what you would like to achieve, right? So to be nice, with people, because not being nice with people is something which in the long run definitely will impact you in a bad way. And just what I'm always saying, the most important, you should be yourself on purpose. Yeah, you should know what is your purpose. You should know yourself, and to be yourself on purpose is fun. Yeah.
I mean, Carmela, don't you think that it's like Elena is a perfect example to get inspired, right? From
It's
someone
crazy.
amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
And I think we can even quote you already at some point. Like,
Yeah.
don't waste your time, stop scrolling and focus, something like so yeah, but definitely like I'm so with you about it because I've been talking about it not just professional but even in personal life with all my friends, but it's just like so disturbing and being in the social media, and many people are enjoying it. In my case it's a bit different because I have a secondary business that it comes to beauty business, so I have to be in the social media. So what happens to me is that social media is my probably not even the second but the first home. So
Yeah.
I don't want to be in my free time in the social media, so it's like opposite, so it's a reverse.
Yes.
But most of the people that are of course like living their life not need to do in the social media any business, so we are using and spending a lot of time not even noticing how much time we put on it. So my maybe suggestion, obviously like remove a notification from your phone, or like put the silent mode in a specific time, put the limit on your time on the social media. I think you can just be notified how much time, and you will actually when you will put that, you will realize a lot that how much time every day you spend on the social media. So it's not something against it, right? It's not some propaganda here, no, don't use the social media. It's just about like do that but consciously.
And I think what's exactly helps a lot. So when you're taking your phone and when you're like being disturbed by something, you should think, is it your choice? Because many people, they think that I decide now to take it. No, it's not your conscious. The whole thing is designed in a way that you would do it, not even thinking about it. So that you should think that now you are just being used as consumer for something which definitely do not bring you a lot of value. And this is exactly why you see I even have it here. Why I love this book so much, Clear Thinking, because when you are constantly disturbed, when you are constantly in this you are losing your conscious house, that you cannot even realize yourself in your life. And then you wake up and 3 hours passed. So, and when you do this meditation, walking, and all these things, and believe me, for me it's also has been the journey, because as you see, I'm so for me it's really important to manage myself so that I would create this space in my head where it's clean, and silent, calm, and then it's amazing thing happening, really beautiful, is coming to your head, right? You say, wow. Because otherwise you even don't give opportunity for this good thing which will lead you further and in the right direction appear.
And the good thing, you can train it. It's like a muscle, and you can lose it just like a muscle.
I'm on my way again, I'm really on my way. I know the theory.
It's already good, right? They say it. If you realize it, it's a step forward.
Yeah.
So I actually totally feel you and hear you about that. And I'm the same in terms of a way how my energy is flowing. I'm not a slow person. I'm very fast, right? And I'd like to also learn. I'm curious and everything. So for me, also in terms of sport, when I chose like what I want to do, I need to slow down. I shouldn't go active. So I do yoga, right? And when I do yoga, obviously I meditate and I come like literally, like I remember that I'm here, I exist, and that nothing matters in these 10 minutes. So that's kind of really helpful. So whoever is watching it and needs some really like take it from us, take it from our real experiences. What helps you to actually focus, and being present is obviously to slow down at the moment. And try to really like a little bit eliminate it of some time.
I'm also now doing yoga. You cannot imagine. For me, it was such a huge struggle. I was always like, oh my God, it's so boring. No, that's not true. I understood.
But for me, it's more like when I say I'm doing a sport, yoga. Oh, but it's not a sport, and I'm like, really? Like, yeah, like
Try.
if you try, no, but it's also true that many people don't do yoga right way. So when you do it in breathing in the right way and doing the positions in the right way, it's a much more like a sport than anything like when you go to gym. I can tell, like I'm doing it, so for many, many years.
I tried it once and I was shaking like this. It was too hard for me.
Yeah, but you have to take it slowly, right? So from the one like level and then level up with the time.
Yeah.
So definitely. All right, so perfect. By the way, also like maybe mention since we talked about the sport that some people when we are jogging we cannot do any jogging and without the music because we cannot stay with themselves, And I love it because that's a moment when you train yourself exactly to be at that moment and walk. Of course, if you are not jogging at home, right, in the treadmill, but more like outside, you walk around and you see around, you listen, right? You listen to birds, you see what's going on, you observe. So that's perfect. And if you have a trouble to concentrate on the jogging, it means that you know that it's already a bad sign. So learn to focus, right? Yeah. Okay. So it was absolutely.
Yoga, do data, and do AI, right?
And be
Yeah. Well,
curious.
and be curious. Yes, maybe that would be a good thing to finalize our episode. Actually, before also we do that, I'd like to say that I'm sure many people have enjoyed our conversation. So you can see here, for instance, as well, Edward said, "Great talk, inspiring." So he'd like to connect. We'll see after the episode. So definitely, and yeah, so would be good to know also a little bit more of in your comments what you think, what other sports or what any other suggestions from your side as well. So let's the conversation keep going, right? And I think with the we came to the end, and Elena, I would like to thank you very, 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 very much for your conversation, for your openness, for your honesty, for an amazing, honestly, like conversation in general. Also sharing what you are planning to do, what your journey. So it was really interactive and nice. So Carmela, probably I will pass the word to you so you can say something, and then I will do my last.
Thank you very much for the great insights. It was very, very interesting and it was great pleasure.
Thank you for inviting me, ladies. It was also a pleasure for me, and looking forward to meeting you in Prague. And let's train before the panel discussion.
Yeah, actually, I did ask you about panel discussion. Now I'm thinking. I'll probably ask Alessia,
He's also a talker. You can put both of us, then we will just talk to each other.
You're gonna kill the stage, there. I know what I'm gonna do. I will put you only if I will be moderating the time discussion, so because I'm sure people will be shy to stop you, right? All right.
Don't be shy. This is another, by the way, my last advice. Don't be shy.
Yeah. You will lose opportunity, right? If you will be constantly shy.
Absolutely. This world doesn't do shy anymore.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Like I honestly agree with you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everybody. And yeah, so let me finish it as usual, traditional, right? Phrase about that. In if she leads, and in this case, Elena leads, then we all move forward. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here with us. And see you online, see you in Prague, see you on LinkedIn. So connect with Elena, connect with Carmela and me, and follow She Leads International. And have a good week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.